So, I mean, take a look at this right here. I mean, this is the 20th anniversary of the invasion of Iraq, okay? They're using the 20th anniversary of the invasion of Iraq to issue an ICC warrant against Russian President Vladimir Putin. So, no warrants for Tony Blair, no warrants for George Bush, of course. So, yeah, I mean, there's nothing serious about this. They're just targeting people that are official enemies of the United States. Here you have Madeleine Albright, who came out in a 60 Minutes interview and said that the death of 500,000 Iraqi children was a very hard choice, but the price we think was worth it, okay? Where's the ICC on this?
We have heard that 500,000 children have died. I mean, that's more children than died in Hiroshima. And you know, is the price worth it? I think this is a very hard choice, but we think the price is worth it.
I think the price is worth it. I'm not going to show you the videos of all the dead Iraqi children that starved to death as a result of U.S. sanctions. You can find those disgusting, inhumane photos, videos, if you'd like, online for yourself. But let me just tell you, if there's anyone who deserves to be locked up in international criminal courts and prison for the rest of their lives, it would be Madeleine Albright. But the fact of the matter is, the ICC arrest warrant means nothing. They have no power in Russia. I mean, South Africa, Brazil, they recognize the international criminal courts, but do we honestly think that Brazil and South Africa are going to arrest Vladimir Putin if he sets foot on South African or Brazilian soil? No. Glenn Greenwald said this right here. He said, just a reminder that the U.S. was one of the only 7 countries to vote against the 1998 creation of the ICC. The others included China, Iraq, Libya, Yemen, Qatar, and Israel. The U.S. regards itself as exempt from jurisdiction. And the U.S. has threatened the ICC over investigations into it and its leaders. If you don't believe me, take a look at this right here. The U.S. government actually threatened to arrest and sanction the International Criminal Court judges if they pursue Americans for war crimes in Afghanistan. The scared ICC judges backed off. It's clearly not about justice. What credibility does the ICC still have? And it's also worth noting that in the United States Congress, they literally passed, I think it was called the Hague Invasion Act, where they said, if The Hague decides to go after U.S. leaders like John Bolton or Mike Pompeo, we reserve the right to literally surround The Hague militarily, send our troops there, surround them, and forcibly protect any of our U.S. citizens from being investigated, arrested, or held liable for their war crimes at the International Criminal Court. We should also address the fundamental claims that are being made here. I mean, this is video of Ukraine's former president, Petro Poroshenko, the guy that eventually replaced Yanukovych after the illegal coup in 2014. He oversaw the country from 2014 to 2019 when there was notoriously high levels of actual Nazis within the Ukrainian Verkhovna Rada. Here he is talking about how he felt about the people in the Donbass. Now, he's not been issued any warrant of arrest from the International Criminal Court, but take a listen to what he says here. He says, we will have jobs, they will not. We will have pensions, they will not. Our children will go to schools and kindergartens. Theirs will hide in the basements, in cellars, okay? So this is Christina, 23 years old, and Kira, 10 months old. Zook, who became the symbols of Donbass's suffering in summer of 2014. They were killed during Ukraine's shelling. She never let go of her child. Too graphic to post the image, and has since been known as the Madonna of Gorlovka. Okay, the tragic and preventable story of Christina, the Madonna of Gorlovka, was covered by Ava Bartlett, who traveled to the Donbass. The people of the Donbass described what it's been like to live under Ukraine's siege. Hearing young children talk about serious weapons like Grad missiles and even know what they are is surreal. After the first bang, I said, let's run away. No other choice. One explosion was there, another one there, and one more there. Everywhere there were explosions. One bomb hit exactly the home. The bombings were so intense that I felt strong pressure. The shoots outlasted... You're going fast here. The shoots outlasted the whole night up until the morning, one child says. The missiles flew over our heads. Now, I know the real heart pain. This little girl says, I know the real heart pain. I sat near the window when the bomb hit our house, says the little boy. We moved quickly to the door. The house was collapsing. All over there, a kitten was hit by bomb splinters. When the attack was over, I saw that my son, my mother, my grandmother were lying here on the ground. And the dead body of their grandfather was lying there. I took the kids and ran into the basement. Later, under the flashlight, I've seen the hand of my child. One finger was cut off. Yesterday, when I was carrying my son from the destroyed house, he told me, "Mom, I just started to live. Why like this?" When I've seen my mom and my dad, they were lying on the ground. I was simply afraid to look at them. So look, I don't want to go through all these because it's absolutely tragic, but from the 14th of April to the 15th of November 2017, that's a 3-year period, at least 2,523 civilians were killed, 1,399 men, 837 women, 91 boys, and 47 girls, and 149 adults whose sex is unknown were killed, okay? So, I mean, the level of death in the Donbass at the hands of the Ukrainians, and Petro Poroshenko in particular, is absolutely insane. The amount of bloodshed, death, loss of life, suffering is insane. When the ICC accuses Russia of kidnapping children from the Donbass, i.e. protecting them from an active war zone, remember that these are the kids that they are talking about. Children that Ukrainian leadership has gleefully talked of terrorizing and killing. Putin's alleged war crime is rescuing them from these very monsters who are forcing them to stand in food rationing lines, who are sending bombs their way to their kindergartens, to their schools, to their hospitals, to their communities, to their playgrounds. These are the kids that Putin is quote-unquote stealing, in our view, protecting. This right here is a statue of a Donbass boy who died while protecting his sister from a Ukrainian mortar. The true genocide by Ukraine was ignored by the West for 8+ years, and in an Orwellian manner, the ICC now cries about war crimes of evacuating children to safety. They have truly lost their moral compass. Evo Morales, former president of Brazil who was ousted in a OAS US-backed coup, said the International Criminal Court issues a void arrest warrant against the brother president of Russia, Vladimir Putin, so calling Vladimir Putin his brother. Days before meeting with his counterpart of China, Xi Jinping, that seeks to create the conditions for a process of pacification of the conflict with Ukraine. We express all our solidarity with Brother Putin and warn that this political and forced accusation for alleged crimes of deportation aims to maintain the state of war between two brotherly peoples of Europe to satisfy the militarism of the US and NATO. We, the free people, fighting for a world free of US interventionism, express our repudiation of the empire's worldwide stigmatization campaign against the brotherly Russian people. The real perpetrator of the war crimes and crimes against humanity is the United States of America. Oh, this is crazy. This is crazy. So the International Criminal Court prosecutor, so this is the prosecutor for the International Criminal Courts that issued this arrest warrant and charged Putin with war crimes for evacuating children from a war zone. Guess what? Guess who he is? Guess what he just did? He just had his convicted pedophile brother, Imran Ahmad Khan, released from a United Kingdom prison on charges of pedophilia on a reduced sentence 1 month ago. So he got his brother, who's a literal pedophile, removed from a UK prison on reduced charges, a pedophile, because he is the prosecutor for the International Criminal Court. But Vladimir Putin, who's evacuating children from a war zone, you know, he's the evil guy. So if you save children from a war zone, you get an arrest warrant from the prosecutor of the ICC. But if you commit pedophilic acts against children and you are sentenced to prison in the United Kingdom, then he's going to help you get out of prison. I always wonder, I'm like, can they get more depraved? Can they become more inhumane? Can they commit acts of inhumanity that are any more disgusting than the ones that we saw last week? And the International Criminal Court proving that, yes, they are very capable of performing all of those tasks and actions.